Hi, my name is Chelsea Bart. I'm an OPI Global Artist, and I'm here today at Alberta Beauty Systems in Calgary to show some gel color nail art and some chrome effects nail art as well. I don't have what's the word? Yeah, thank you. I don't have a schedule set out for what I'm going to do here, but we're just going to play. The girls have asked me to see some things like ombre and the rose quartz technique, so we're going to show those. And then we're going to play with some of the other techniques that they've seen in my books, and we'll go from there. But before we go into the nail art, actually, I'm going to talk a little bit about some pro tips for gel color application. So the one thing that you obviously, pro tips, shaking for 60 seconds. So I've already shaked all my bottles, but really make sure, like even if you use the timer on your lamp, to make sure that you're really shaking for 60 seconds. Because you want to make sure that all those pigments in the polish are all mixed up really, really well, so you get a full, even coat of color. So I've mixed those already, so I'm not going to keep going. When we use the base coat, I notice when I see some people applying base coats and top coats, they think because it's clear, you know, they're a little willy-nilly with it, right? But it's really important that you apply the base coat and the top coats just as precisely as you apply the color. One of the reasons is when you're applying the base coat, and if you bump it into the cuticle and you think, it's clear, it doesn't matter. What's going to actually happen is when you put the color on, the color's going to follow that base coat and it's going to go right up there and bleed into the cuticle. So if you do bump into the cuticle with your base coat, make sure you clean it off first with some NES99 and a wipe, and clean it off of the cuticle before you keep going. Okay. So the good thing is gel color is really, really forgiving. So if you're in the middle of a step and you've made a mistake, you can wipe it off and you can start ahead, like go ahead and just move on to the next step. No problems. Even after the base coat is on and cured, so if we cure that for 30 seconds, when you move on to your next color, and if you mess that one up, then that's fine, you can wipe it away. You don't have to redo the base coat.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see. So what else? Capping the free edge. So when we do nail art, or gel color application, sorry, we want to make sure that you cap the free edge with every coat. So it's a little bit hard to show you guys on a palette, but you know what I mean, right? So on the edge of the nail, just do it on my nail. So you're going to apply, and I like to use a push technique. So when we're talking about getting close to the cuticle, I'm going to push up like here. So I start back, push up, and pull it down. And then you're going to come around one side, and then the second side. Make sure you don't have too much on your brush. Get as close to the cuticle as you can. And then you're going to cap the free edge. Okay. So by capping the free edge, especially with the base coat, that's going to help you with those darker colors that maybe shrink away from a lot of the reasons why they shrink so much, because it is the nature of gel polish. As it cures, it shrinks a little. Okay. But if they're shrinking too much, that could be because you didn't cap the free edge with the base coat, so it doesn't have anything to stick to. It doesn't want to stick there.
Right.
So then we'll cure that, and when we apply, I'm not going to cure it because it's on my nail, but, and then when you apply the color, each coat and top coat, again, the same technique, start at the back, push forward, come down, side to side. You should be able to do it in 3 strokes, and by doing it in 3 strokes like that, by pushing up, as you can see, we have the Pro Wide brush. So when you push, you see how wide it gets? And it covers almost my whole pinky cuticle area. It creates a really nice smooth line. Versus when you, for example, I might show it on here because this might be easier. So when you start like here, this is such a light color, it's hard to see. Let me try another color. Just doing some application pro tips, and then we're going to do some nail art.
Perfect. Sounds great.
So if you push up and down, and I won't go all the way so you guys can see the line. Do you see how it like creates a perfect line across there? But if I start like here and here and here. You know, if you start brushing like this, do you see how uneven that top line is? So that's the pro tip to make sure that you get, first of all, really close to the cuticle without touching it.
And spread the brush. And
spreading the brush. And it's almost like you're pushing that bead. You know, you have just that tiny little piece of bead of polish there, and then you push it around, and then you can bring it down this side, and then you can bring it down this side, and you'll get as close to the cuticle and to the sidewalls as possible, and have a beautiful line all the way around.
Right.
Totally. And then when you go in with like your secondary coat, then it'll fully make everything flush.
Exactly. Exactly. So those are some pro tips for that. And again, capping capping the free edges for all of, so your base coat, your 2 coats of color, and your top coat, super important. And shaking for 60 seconds. What else do we got? Let's see.
Everything's just all about your prep work though, and your
It
filing, right?
Yes,
Like,
and so
without that, then you're hooped. You're totally gonna end up with your lifting and everything.
absolutely.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
prep is super important for any product at all, but even for gel color. I know gel color lasts so long that, you know, I think in some ways nail technicians can sometimes take that for granted. You know, it's such a good product. It lasts so long, right? So, but if you do the prep, it's going to last even longer. And also pushing back the cuticles as far as possible too. And pulling that product right up to the cuticle. Because it lasts for 3 weeks, you don't want the grow out to be so noticeable like a weekend, right? So you want to get as close to the cuticle as possible. So there's that. So those are my tips and tricks for actual application of the product. I know you guys are excited to get into nail art, so am I. It's just my favorite thing. So we're gonna get that started. So one of the first pieces I guess I was gonna show was the smoke quartz nail, which is also sometimes people call it a marbled nail or the rose quartz nail. So we did this look for our Always Bare For You collection. And I started with 2 coats of Baby Take a Vow, and I've cured them. Now I did wipe this with NAS99 because I packed it with me, so I didn't want it to be a sticky tacky layer. You don't have to do that for this particular look. When you're doing fine line detail like this, you'd want to keep it wiped clean.
Okay.
And the reason for that, which I can, is because the 2 gels, they're meant to sort of melt together.
Okay.
So when you leave the sticky tacky layer on, you'll sort of lose the sharpness of your line, of your detail line. So, but in this, where we want it soft, we want it to melt. I'm just going to do another coat. That was a 3rd coat, but I'm just going to do another coat. Yeah, it doesn't need it, but it'll make it look so much better.
Okay.
I'm going to grab my Alpine Snow and my palette. I'm going to get that prepped.
Oh, I love this case.
And I'm also going to put a little bit of top coat on the palette as well.
Are you using the no cleanse, or are you using
this one? I'm just using the regular. It won't matter which one for this particular one. Don't worry, I'll always shout out which one if I'm using the no cleanse and why I'm using it. So you're going to take a smaller brush. Doesn't really matter which type of brush you use. I like this one. And I like to prime my brush with NAS99 before I start going in with nail art.
And why is that?
Just something that I do if it's been dried out or if anything's stuck in it from a previous, I just make sure that it's nice and clean to start with, and that the bristles are supple and I can move them around. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of white Alpine Snow on my brush, and I'm going to just randomly place some squiggles. And you can do like little veins coming off as well. And you want them to be variant, in thickness. And then we'll clean that off. And we're going to go in with our top coat. And what I'm going to do here is you can kind of see I'm not really picking up the top coat so much as I'm just saturating the brush with it. So when I push it and push it down, I'm saturating all the bristles with the top coat here. I'm going to use a patting motion, and you want to stick to one side of the line that you just made. So I'm going to pat it. And this is diffusing the white. And the more you push, the more it'll diffuse. So by staying on the one line, you create the sharp edge on the one side and diffuse the other side. So you can do that, you can just keep going back and forth until you're happy with how it looks.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I even like flipped the brush around and added the white back in because I felt like I took a little too much out when I was patting.
That's a wonderful thing about the gel though, is that it's so forgiving.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like,
Absolutely. There are 1,000,001 ways to work with gel color. And honestly, like, so if I said, oh, you know what, I really, like, let's just actually pretend we did that. So I'm diffusing. Oh, I, like, pretty much totally got rid of my line. Let's go back into the white. Place it back in. It's, if you haven't cured yet, you're golden, you know. And if I really hate what I'm doing, I'll wipe it off with NAS 99 and start all over again. No problem. That's, you know, gel color has been my favorite thing to work with for years now. When it first came out, I was like an acrylic only tech. You know, when gel polish first came out, I'm like, not gonna use it. But once I started to use it and started doing the nail art with it, and each new technique that I discovered pushed me into 10 more new techniques, you know, and I just realized that the possibilities were just completely endless. And so that's why I get so excited to show you guys nail art, because I know how many things are out there that I could show you. And I get a little bit like, I'm like, I don't know what to show next, because it's so much fun and I want to show it all. So there's your rose quartz technique, and we can top that with either one of the top coats, just using the regular top coat. And if you really wanted to, like, make that more of a marble, so you could do the soft cure, and then you can go back in with a finer brush and finer lines and create sort of harsher
Like veins.
veins. Yeah, exactly. The more oh my god, I've lost all my words today. Not diffused, the other
More
word.
marble effect.
Yeah. I have lost all my words today. Okay, so I'm just going to flash cure that for time-wise. So I know you guys wanted to see the ombre technique, so we'll give that one a go right now. I've got it on here, but I'm gonna just choose a new palette here. And I'm just gonna grab, I'm going to grab some colors. In Tokyo. All Dreams of Many Shades. Okay, so we're gonna do the pinks. This one is from our Tokyo collection. So whether you're blending 2 colors or 3, we're going to get all of these ready. So I'm going to start with my lightest color at the top, which today we're using Another Romantic Evening. Push that up to the cuticle. Drag it down. You do kind of want it, don't apply this too thinly. You know, it's not horrible to apply a nice thin coat of gel color and do a few coats of that when you're applying a full coat. But when you're doing something like this nail art where you're trying to blend, you kind of want to have a little bit of product to work with, or you'll be sort of just pushing it around and thinning it out too much. So make sure it has like a decent layer of color to it. The second coat, sorry?
are you just gonna like 3-section it? And
Yeah, I'm going to do a
blend
3-section,
together?
yeah. So with the second coat, or the second color, sorry, I'm going to push it right into the other one and make it touch.
Okay.
And the same goes for the third color. Now, colors with shimmer effects, or glitters or metallics, are always easier to blend together. just something about them. They just
Truth.
Yeah.
That's
two
truth.
creams. It's just gonna be
You want some sparkle?
Right.
You want some shimmer?
So now talking about the different types, there's different ways. You wouldn't use this particular technique, application technique for either of these. You could sponge. That's one technique to do. So if I show you like with a baby boomer nail, if I had some pink down already, then I would be able to sponge the white up onto it. So that's one technique. Nothing wrong with that technique. I just find the sponge does eat a bit of your product. You know, it soaks it up, and any type of sponge will work for that. But for this technique, we're going to use the ombre brush. This is what an ombre brush looks like. I think I have a piece of glitter in it. I'll take it out. These can be purchased here at Alberta Beauty and any distributor. So as you can see, it's nice and full down here, and then it gets really sporadic up at the top. Again, it's the tools and then the knowledge. So you want to soak it in top coat. And as you can see, I'm pushing the brush down because I don't want to grab a glob of top coat. I just want the bristles to be covered in the top coat. You're going to start about midway through the first pink, and you're going to tap, 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 little taps as you move back and forth. And this is where patience is a virtue with this technique. Because at times, as you're moving through the product, you're going to feel like you're not moving a lot of product. So, and here I'm not, but I'm going to go back. When I go down to this second layer, I'm going to start getting into tighter movements again.
So do you always start with the lighter
I do.
color?
I do.
Okay.
But in particularly with this design with the 3 colors, it just makes sense to pull the lighter color down into the darker colors.
Okay.
Okay, and then you're going to do that all over again. You're going to continue this step, cleaning out the brush, placing top coat in it, melting the 2 or 3 colors together until you're happy with how it looks. And I'm just going to do a little bit more here. So you could push up the color into the darker color into the lighter pink too, but you still want to pull this light pink down to blend. And now it might not look exactly like what you were thinking. If you've added too much top coat, you can just add some more and keep going. Then, when you cure that, you're going to go in and do that a second time. And that's going to really blend all of those layers together. So you're going to do that, and that's where you'll get that look.
It's really pretty.
So I'm just going to flash cure that, and I'll just show you guys really quickly. And if you the next time you bring the pink a little bit further down, that helps to blend the colors as well. So if you change where your blending line is, and sorry, your name is?
I'm Deneb.
Hi, Deneb.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Sorry I couldn't make it yesterday.
That's okay.
But I was watching you live.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. My daughter thought it was awesome.
Oh, nice. Okay. So yeah, patience and love, and just keep going until you're happy. Then, so I'm just going to flash through that really quick, and I'll put a top coat on. Top coat will also diffuse the colors together as
Yeah.
well. So I'm only flash curing for the sake of time today, but when this is on your client, you're gonna cure for the full 30 seconds.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. Now you guys wanted to see the vertical ombre
Yeah.
as well, or horizontal. Which one's which? I feel like this one's horizontal, right? Because the
Yes.
lines go this
Yeah,
way.
it's
Yeah. Okay. So it's actually quite easy to do it, and there's two different ways to do it. There's always a lot of different ways to do everything.
Mhm.
So you can start with one color on one side. And then your second color. So if you don't want to get any of that color in here, you can pull it out onto your palette and use a brush to apply it.
Okay.
But I find when you apply it with a brush like that, you get it a little bit thinner than you want, and you might end up having to do like 3 coats.
Oh, okay.
Whereas with this way, what I'm going to do, is just go right beside it, and I'm overlapping just slightly with the brush. Like that. And I find, what I was going to tell you, when you do that, you're going to wipe it off, so you can wipe off that other color before you put it back into your bottle.
Okay.
But so sometimes, depending on the colors you're using, and you might have to sort of work that out, applying the lighter color and blending it into the darker color is going to work better.
Okay.
So I didn't know that. I thought, oh, the dark color will blend, that'll be fine. But it didn't so much. So I just went back in with that lighter color. And then again, just make sure that that darker color is wiped off of your brush before you return it to the bottle. And then you would do a second coat of that. So I'll flash cure that really quick. And that's how you do vertical ombre. And you can do that with 3 colors as well.
Mhm.
I would do the middle color first and then blend the 2. Yeah. The other way to do it is to place. I was like I said, there's a million and one ways to do it. To place the 2 colors on your palette, and have a square brush such as this, and pick up one color on one side and the other color on the other side. And then as you drag it down, you would blend the 2 together. But as you can see, it's a light coverage.
Right.
So you would have to do 3 coats or so of that. It's just because of the pressure you're using, you know, with a brush like this to blend. Let's see if I can do it again. I'm using a light pressure. But, so, a couple different ways to achieve it. You can find which one works best for you, which way you like the best. When using 3 colors in a vertical, I sometimes do it that way. Just pick it up and do, because then what I would do is, you know, I would apply it here on this side like that, and then clean off my brush and say, take that 3rd color
Okay, yeah.
and flip it, so I make sure I use the same side for that one color, flip this way, and then go in here like this. And then that's kind of easy to blend the 3
Right.
colors that way as well.
Okay.
But as you see, you'll need a few coats. Okay, so we did rose quartz and we did ombre. I'm gonna show you guys some techniques that I did yesterday, which are just super easy ways to get, like, super quick, super easy ways to marble. And it's what I sort of call like a wet on wet technique, and it's all these different ways to marble together. I'm gonna show this one on this color, I think. Give me a minute to prep. Do you guys have any questions so far?
So far, so good.
Okay. I'll do this color, and then I think I'll do a white. It always shows up so nicely on white. Okay, stand by. So what other kind of nail art is really popular in your guys' salons right now? What did you say?
I think lines.
Lines?
Like almost like geometric.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I find people come looking for.
Yeah.
And I cry.
You cry?
I'm like, oh god.
Oh no! Don't let it make you cry.
Well, for me, it's hard because I'm so new,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's it's trying to get those lines like super straight.
Okay. So for this one, well, I will show you how to. When we get into artist series, we're going to talk about fine line details and straight
Okay.
lines and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So for this one, sort of wet on wet or marbling technique, I'm going to show. Sorry, no, I'm just going to use the white. So I would normally use Funny Bunny for this one particular technique that I was going to show, but I don't have it. I think I have it. I think it's on the other side of that. Okay. But what I'm going to show you guys is just how to do some really cute, easy like roses. So I've applied one coat of the Baby Take a Vow, and I haven't cured it. And I'm going to start with a little dot, and then I'm going to bring up like a smile line, or like a little smile, and then I'm going to overlap it. And it's okay if you don't get it perfect. That's what makes this so pretty. So you want to make the middle part thicker and then bring the inside so like a little crescent moon shapes. When you do this with Funny Bunny, it's nice and soft, and then I go back afterwards and outline it with the Alpine Snow.
Okay.
There's
some more depth.
That's right, depth and dimension. So that's one way. Oops.
What about you? What are you finding that clients are coming in with for kind of their nail art or you know, your biggest fads for right now? Because for myself, I've been out of it now for about 4 years, but I've been doing it for like 15 years, kind of plus. So I'm like, okay, what's been going on within like the last 4 years where I've been hanging out with a toddler, you know? So I'm kind of curious as to what the fads are.
Well,
right?
really,
like
so the trends are definitely the ombres, the different types of ombres. Foiling is really big right now, which I'll show you guys how to do that as well, adding foils to gel color. Ombre, the rose quartz, the marble, those are super, super big. But with my clientele, I actually have an older clientele.
Which is what I used to have too.
So yeah, so they're still in the area of, you know, doing they're a little safe. They get, you know, their colors, and then they'll do like a glitter nail, or they'll do a glitter fade nail and stuff. So I do have a few clients that get a lot of hand painting, but they'll be like characters and things like that. Like I get to do Easter bunnies and you know, those kinds of things. So I think honestly, it's everything, right? You know, what's really, really trending as far as what Google says and what the majority of the salons are doing, I would say, is rose quartz, marble, you know, fades and all that. But as far as like, you know, and you guys have probably noticed, it's anything goes, you know.
Yeah.
So it's good to have a wide variety of little techniques under your belt. So some more wet on wet marbling I'm going to show you guys is, I'm just going to do this in Alpine Snow. So again, I'm going to leave that wet. I'm going to choose more of a striping brush style. Let's just stay with the pinks. You know I love my pinks. Just going to put some more colors. Whoops. A little messy. And let's add another color for contrast. These are all colors from the Tokyo collection. This one's I'm on a sushi roll. So I'm going to pick up each color in whatever order that I want. And this can be done, you can lay these lines horizontally, vertically, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do them on sort of like an angle. And again, what's really neat is there's no point in being perfect in this particular step. Pick up my second color. You can place them as close together or as far apart as you want. Closer together you place them, the more white you're going to have in your design. sorry, the less white, the closer you put them together. You can even add, you're like, oh, that wasn't good enough, I'm going to add more. I'm going to add some green. Back in and go the first color again. Hello, come on in. The second color.
Grab a seat. Yeah, grab a seat. Come on up, get comfy.
So,
Hi, your name?
Bien.
Deanne? Hi, I'm Chelsea.
Hi, Chelsea. Hi,
So,
girls.
we're just doing we're playing with some no color nail art right now. I'm letting the girls sort of lead a little bit of what they wanted to see. So right now we're doing some wet on wet techniques.
Okay.
I've placed one coat of alpine snow and I've cured it. And then I placed another coat of alpine snow and I didn't cure it. And I've picked up each one of these colors and I've laid them down. And this is what I sort of call the cheesecake look. So I'm going to drag my brush through the colors. And then I'm going to go the other way between those. And that creates a really fun,
Very pretty.
that's a marble little look there, sort of tie-dye. Tie-dye's going to be in, that's been a thing that they've been projecting is that's going to be in. So when you do it,
What I was doing. Yeah, really.
Back
Yeah.
now.
and so another way for doing it tie-dye wise is if you place the colors sort of like in that circle first, when you lay them all down like that. Let's see if I can do it real quick. And go around and around. I would choose a different variety of colors, just because these two are the three are very similar, other than the green. But you get the picture. So then you would go from there, and you start in the middle, and I would do the whole nail, of course, but you can do it like this. Start in the middle, bringing each one out. And you can just keep going between those lines and go add more and more lines. It's a little bit, the other, on the palette, it gets in the way
Right.
of the brush, but you guys get what I'm saying. So this is a more tie-dye look. Using exactly the same technique, just applying the colors and brushing through a little differently.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool? That's so cool. So I'm going to flash cure those guys. So we did the wet on wet. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a couple really interesting, more, what's the word? More involved sort of looks in a sense of what gets involved. This is like kind of particular to exactly what type of design you would be doing. So you wouldn't do this for like everything, but we have a few little designs that are really fun to do with this. So with this one, I'm going to show you a couple. I'm going to go in with a pretty blue. And cure that. Sorry. Keep this starting there a second. Just want to play that over with this. So let's do a coat. Chopsticks and stones. Because it has a little bit of glitter, just really fun. Oops. So I'm just going to apply it with a really heavy hand. I just wanted a thin coat, but I put too much on, so taking it off.
So that was the white color you put underneath, right?
Yeah, I just did a Canopy OPI
Okay,
underneath.
yeah.
I was hoping to get a little less of that chopsticks and stones on there. I'm going to maybe dab it off, some of the... See, there's no, like, It's like Bob Ross, right? It's like happy accidents. That looks kind of cool. I'm gonna leave it like that. Hey, you know, you go with it. But what I'm gonna do is show you. Do I have the soft white? Sorry, let me just see. I don't really have a soft white in there. This is more of a gray. Did I have it with me? Okay, we'll use the white. So this one technique, applying the white, Alpine Snow, again, apply it really thin. And I've got some blue, because I only flash cured, so I've got some blue on that. I'm going to just wipe that off before I put it in. What I'm going to do is take my top coat, put some more on my palette. I'm going to use a dotting tool to pick up that top coat, and I'm going to drop it in.
Oh, it's like that water.
Yeah.
resin technique.
I was doing this.
Yeah, they're beautiful. They turn out very nice.
So when you use a softer white, like a Funny Bunny, you'll get even more of that other color coming in. But if you leave it for just a second, if you just let it rest, it's going to push together and it's going to create all of those really cool sort of water lines. When you do it, even if you do it, like say on a French, when you do the blue as the French, and then you just do that white effect on the, and you have a sandy color, like you'll have a little beach scene, right? Which is really cute. So that's that. I'm going to show you guys another technique, or that's similar way to get. So this is just a cup of water, and I'm going to drop my gel polish into it. And then what I'm going to do is I put all my NAS 99 in my pump bottle. And just spray bottle. 1 second. I told you, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here.
Most of us do.
I love
What's nail polish?
This is NAS 99. It's alcohol.
Okay.
It's 99% alcohol. So you're gonna spray it on to the water and see that effect that you got from it.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can pick it up
Oh, and then dip
Oh,
it.
neat.
like that. You're gonna wipe off a little bit of the excess, and then you're gonna cure that. Then you'll wipe it off again, just pat it dry again, just make sure
Right.
there's no water left on there, and then you can top coat it. So that's a sort of a separate, like a different way to get that same
Mm-hmm. Water.
water break, you know,
Yeah.
where the foamy water for the beach scene is. It's a little harder to see on the white, but
Mm-hmm.
you guys can see it there. So yeah, I would just pat that dry. And if you look at the New Orleans collection, we did it with greens and blacks and made it look very mossy
Oh,
for, you know, for the back swamp, you know, Louisiana. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was the inspiration behind that look, and then we, you know, do it with water and stuff too. It's really cute. Yeah.
That's neat.
So
Can I
that's
just turn it to the side so I can see
Yes,
like,
of
the
course.
dimensioning of it?
no, you can
If you don't mind,
play with
sorry.
it. Go ahead. And if you top coat it,
It's nice because it does lay fairly flat,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Which is really cool. But then it's got that 3D
3D effect. Yeah.
that 3D
Mhm.
effect too, which is really nice. This
So-
is some water
yeah, that's just water
or alcohol.
and alcohol, 99% alcohol. So there you go. So that's it, top coated.
And then so just cure and then to just take off the excess water, right?
Yeah,
'Cause you
yeah,
don't wanna
I just
tap in any of
patted
that
it.
excess water. And stuff.
Exactly. You don't want to have that in there.
And you find that it holds still very
Yeah.
well?
Yeah, because the thing is, you've done your prep and you've done your main applications,
Mhm.
right? So everything's done there. So as far as it's holding, you're good. You're safe to go.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's a nice technique.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just get those guys. Actually, I'm going to give them a full 30 just because while we get some prepared for a few other things. So you know what I'll do really quickly if I have some. I think this is the clear. Yes. I'll show you guys really quick how to do the sugaring technique with the powder perfection and the gel
Okay,
color.
yeah.
And I'll show that. Maybe I'll show that.
I
I'll do it on here.
No, you know what? I watched you do a lot of your dipping yesterday. I was like, oh my goodness, where was this when
Right?
I was like,
love
oh
it.
my gosh, what a fantastic system.
Yeah.
How many people out there are going for the dipping? Like, are there
I get a
a
lot.
lot right now? Because
And then
it
I
seems to
kinda-
be.
I kind of introduce it to my clients,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, I want to try that."
Yeah, no,
Right?
I think it's very, very cool. I was, like I
Mhm.
said, I was watching it. And
Yeah.
I was telling my husband, I was like, I'm like, where was this when I was doing nails? Because that's like that really cool, fun, intricate, like even like the frostiness that you can do. Like I love
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like you can be so creative.
So I don't know if you saw, but yeah, it's like there's a particular niche of clients that are out there that are really perfect for powder perfection,
Yeah.
right? So anybody who needs
sorry.
strength, that's okay. It's cured. It's just still sticky because I haven't wiped with any S99, so I'll do that and then you can. So yeah, anybody out there who really needs the strength, wants color, maybe wants nail art, but doesn't want to have any added length, either because they can't, for their job or for their home style like life. I know a lot of new moms don't want to have a lot of length on. So
But you can still do it if you put a little length on.
so we don't recommend adding any length with the powder perfection.
Oh, okay.
That's good. There's lots of people that
Yeah,
wants to
don't
do
want the length.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so for me too, like I had a lot of clients coming in who were getting acrylics because of the strength, but barely adding any length, right? And you know how it is that it's just their natural nail underneath, right? It's basically an overlay, right? And you're doing a hard gel overlay or you're doing an acrylic overlay. The powder perfection is so fast,
Right.
so
It
just
is.
pop that
It's
on. Yeah.
It's like minimal time comparison,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And
And
like
you
hardly
get minimal
any filing
Yeah,
too,
I
which is
know.
what I thought was great.
So I've applied the coat of gel color, Alpine Snow. You would do 2 coats if you wanted. I'm going to do the No Cleanse top coat. And the reason I'm doing that is because I could use the regular top coat and then just wipe it away. I could use matte top coat as well. This is just going to cut out that step for me by using the No Cleanse top coat. So I just wanted to let you guys all know. Chrome Effects No Cleanse top coat. It was designed to use with our chromes, and that's what will make the chromes go to the mirror shine. But you can use it on your own to finish off any set. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So let's get out some more fun colors. Let's do the yellow too. Pull some of the neon colors we have coming out. Orange You a Rock Star and pump up the volume. This color. I have this on my toes right now. Okay. So again, I'm going to use my brush. I'm going to pick up the colors. I think I'm going to do like, actually, you know what? I might start with the pink. One sec. I'm gonna start with pink. And I'm going to apply it like a little wave. You can obviously do this in any shape of design. This one is, I believe, from the Neon collection. This look. So they don't have to be the same waves or anything. It's more interesting if they're not. This is, I think, a cute one for like Coachella, or if you did it in the real rainbow, you could do like a gay pride. Be really fun. Okay, and so from there, before curing, this is my crystal clear color set powder from Powder Perfection. And I'm going to tap it over that. So because I use the No Cleanse top coat, I don't have to worry about the Powder Perfection sticking to the white. If you're going to use another top coat, you're going to want to wipe that first. I'm going to tap off the excess, and then we're going to cure that. But by using the top coat, you're protecting the set that you did. So if you're using, if it's a natural nail and it's gel color and you're using the top coat, you're protecting it. So you could do it with matte, you could do it with regular top coats. And yeah, and have fun with the different colors. And you can even use colored Powder Perfection.
Right.
Right? So you could do it with the clear No Cleanse top coat. You could do your design with that and then use a colored Powdered Perfection to get that sugared look. I have done it, there's an example in one of those books where I did, it was a full coverage, but I added glitter. So I added a little iridescent, like really fine glitter into my clear color set powder. And then I did a pink gel color nail. And then I did the full top coat on top. Top. I'm going to show it.
Okay, yeah.
It might be easier.
Which one is it here? Is
I'm
that
not sure.
one of them?
There's so many in here. Okay, let's see. It's right here. One on the top. So it's this one right here.
Okay.
And so I added some glitter to it, and it gives like a sugared. I did it because it was this sort of candy cupcake theme set.
Yeah.
And so the glitter gave it a little bit of an extra texture to it. And then with this one, this is the white. This is actually the Alpine Snow Powder Perfection on top of the white gel color.
Okay.
So I did the white gel color in the star shape, and then I sprinkled the white powder on top of it. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's some of those marbled, different styles of marbling as well. And here, use them a little bit there for the marbling. This is another example of the clear color set over top of a design. So I did the design first, the cow print, and then I did the Powder Perfection on top. What else? Oh, there's the ombre that I just showed you, the vertical ombre. Yeah. So that's that. What else? What else? There's some more examples. Here's what I meant by those roses that I did with the Alpine Snow first, and then I went back and I did it with the, I did the Funny Bunny, and then I did the Alpine Snow in two different versions, on the lighter pink and then the darker pink there. And this is like the little marbled roses, where I just sort of swirl it around in a circle. Yeah. Let's see. So these fine lines and stuff, that's what we're going to get into with the artist series.
Lines really just have to do, I think, a lot with the brushes that you use. Right?
Yeah, it's super important to have really good brushes, and then to understand using the pressures.
Yeah.
So how much product you're picking up and the pressure that you're using to get the effect that you're looking for.
Okay.
So it's about practice, practice, but making sure that you have a really good brush. So when you're working with a brush, like, you want to make sure that it's, you know, really fine pointed, or at least, like, especially with the gel, as long as it goes back into a point, you know, when you get the product on it, then you're safe. Even this one is a little bit, it might need to sit in some brush cleaner for a little bit.
Okay.
And I find, I think, like, if you're doing like full line on a nail, and correct me if I'm totally wrong, but I found that your longer brush was like the way to go, because then you didn't have to worry about like any type of a flinch where you have to start all over again, right? Because it's like that full, and it's just literally that drag.
Absolutely.
Such a quick drag. So I know for me, because when I was doing it, like, I had that same issue, and it would, you know, after like 4 cups of coffee, you're like,
yeah, right.
which you need, right?
Exactly.
Totally.
I have to
10-hour
avoid
days.
having coffee to come to the demos, because otherwise I'm like this.
Oh, I know, I'm the same.
Yeah, so this one in particular, this was like on purpose. That was a wet on wet technique, and I used the longer brush just to pull it through.
It makes it
But
so much
if you were
easier.
trying to actually get a crisp line. Again, you still want to use something really thin, really long, and then it's about practicing with your pressures. So, and then also here, saturating your brush. You can't just like dip it in and it, you know, you have to make sure that it's right in the bristles, and then drag it through to the end here. If you're trying to get, like, depending on how fine of a line you're trying to get, to make sure that you're not overloading or underloading your brush. So I'll find, do it on the black here because it will.
Oh, sweet.
Right, so then you can go all the way through
So much
without
easier.
starting and
Okay.
stopping, and you get that beautiful line. And then if it wasn't so beautiful, but it was nearly, you can use something like a little cleanup brush and some NAS 99. Be careful not to saturate it too much,
And crisp it up.
and just be very careful and just go, ooh, clean it up like that,
Perfect. Yeah.
and you'll get that perfect line.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's great.
Wipe that off. Okay. So is everybody happy with like the gel color looks? Is there anything? Okay. So I think I'll move on to doing some chrome, which we have some examples of here. We're gonna talk a little bit about chrome. Just let me
Tidy up.
I'm gonna tidy up and maybe reset. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching us play with some gel color. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
After that, you'll be like pro star. If you get good with a
Right.
sanding band.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
do anything.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
we're gonna play with some chromes now. So I've just pre-prepped these with the black onyx, 2 coats of black onyx, and I'm just applying my no cleanse top coat, and we're gonna cure for 30 seconds. You're gonna see by the end of this, obviously black onyx, you don't have to use black onyx. I'm gonna go through, show you guys each color that I have, or 6 of them anyways. I do have 7 colors of the 8 with me today, but I'll show you like the top 6, and then we'll get into like what else you can do with chrome. So there's so much more. So we're gonna cure that for 30 seconds. But yeah, you don't have to use black onyx. So black onyx will just show what the chrome color was intended to be originally. But when show you when you put it on other colors, you're gonna get different effects out of that color.
So, because the bottles are so dark, they're close
Yeah,
to the
they're
light
fine.
and they're fine.
Yeah.
Because I've cured mine.
I'll move them now because I had them that turned the other way. But
Just in case.
yeah, I don't worry about it a lot. If it was open, if they were open, I would probably worry
Oh,
more.
okay.
So now that the no cleanse top coat is cured, this is Tin Man Can. I'll show you guys what that one looks like. This one is a little less of like the silver chrome and more of a gunmetal chrome. However, if you do 2 coats of it, and by that I mean, brush this on and then apply your other top coat, because we're going to have to apply another top coat to seal it in. And then do it again with another coat of top coat, then you would get more of a silver look out of it on top of the black. But if you put it on, a silver to begin with, like a silver polish or a gray polish, then you'll get a lighter silver color out of it. If that makes sense. Okay, so it'll be like a gunmetal color. I'm gonna apply the no cleanse, and it's like a gunmetal gray. So a couple things when applying the gel polish or the chrome. I didn't have to do it because it's a palette, but when you're applying it on a client, one of the things that you want to do is after you've brushed on all of the chrome, and if you saw how I did it, and I'll do another one really quickly in a different color. This is our Chrome Effects in Ruby, Pay Me in Rubies it's called. When you rub it in, you want to like rub it in. Give it a lot of time. I mean, not a lot, but I'm using like a medium pressure, and I'm making sure I'm evenly covering. And then I'm going to brush away the excess. all of that excess, because if you don't, that's how it turns into sort of more of a glitter than it does a chrome.
Okay, yeah.
And then I'm going to apply the top coat.
That's a gorgeous color.
So that's the Pay Me in Rubies. I'll go ahead and cure those guys so that they're all locked in. So a couple tips to brush it in really, really well. When you're applying your first coat of No Cleanse top coat to the desired color that you put it on, be sure to go all the way up to the edge of the color up by the cuticle and all the way down the sides, because if you miss a little piece, you will see it. Because when you rub the chrome into it, it won't turn chrome. It'll stay like
Okay.
a weird powdery glitter.
Okay.
And your clients are going to see that. And usually the problem areas for that are up by the cuticle or the sidewalls, because we didn't pull the top coat all the way around.
Okay.
Then the second trick, the pro tip for it, to avoid any chipping at the free edge, because that can be an issue with chrome effects, is chipping at the free edge. It's not just the capping, because you actually don't cap the first coat of chrome effects when we use it on the nail. But what you're going to do is you're going to apply your chrome effects top coat. You're going to cure. You're going to apply your chrome, brush off the excess, and then you're going to take a white edge 240 file, so just a nice soft file, and you're going to run it along the free edge. Not enough to break through any of the gel, but enough to remove any of the chrome powder that's right on the edge of the free edge.
Okay.
Then you're going to fully encapsulate when you go over the free edge with your No Cleanse, with
Right.
that second
Okay.
coat of No Cleanse top coat. So, let's do a couple other colors. Let's do the amethyst. I think it's so pretty. Actually, you know what? In order to get 2 in 1, I'll show you guys sort of like just the blending, that sort of vertical blending
Okay, yeah.
with the chrome. It's just as easy as the gel color, in that you apply your first color on one side. Don't worry about rubbing it in too much. Grab your second color, apply it on the second or the other side, and then overlap. You can even go all the way over, because most of the blue is already there and already in the top coat. And then wipe off the excess. And you can see how it's purple on one side and blue on the other. Gives a iridescent, there we go, chameleon sort of look. Now you can do that too. I've done it with, random colors too, in different
places.
Yeah, in the
Okay.
different places. So it doesn't have to be just like 2 colors down the nail.
Okay, yeah.
Apply it. Okay, so clean these guys up.
And then so for the chrome effects, then do you recommend, if you're doing like a full nail, right? Would you do like a 2-part series, or would you do like a 3-part, like a 3-layered series for that, and then cap, or like just for the thickness of the product, like so for example, you have let's say you're just doing it on a natural nail, you got some black onyx on it like you're doing right now. How many layers of the chrome would you be doing?
Just one.
Just the one layer?
Yeah,
and
just
then
one,
you're good?
unless, which I'll get to talking about layering the 2 colors of chrome.
Okay.
Again, if with the silver, if you want it to be sort of on the higher silver side,
Yeah.
you either have to change the color, the base color that you're using, or apply 2 coats.
Okay.
Yeah, so generally we would say not more than one, right? But you can have fun and play with it. Just understand that anytime that we do anything that's outside of the normal guidelines of the way the product was meant to be used, that, that's where you're going to run into, not necessarily problems, just that if anything does come up, it could be a reason why, because you maybe applied too many coats, or, if it chips or cracks a little sooner than normal, that could be a reason. So this one is Bronzed by the Sun.
Nice.
Where's this one, Copper? Great Opportunity, sorry. I always get these 2 mixed up for some reason. They are very different, and I always get them mixed up. We'll do the Bronze by the Sun now. And we have, the only one I'm missing today is the mixed metals, which is probably everybody's favorite. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to show you guys. I accidentally hit this one with the copper one, and I'm going to wipe it off with NAS 99. The best part, and I don't know about other chrome systems, but I think ours is one of the only ones that you're able to do that with, I don't have to reapply the top coat. Even though so if your client's like, I'm not quite sure, or you're not quite sure how that particular chrome color is going to look on whatever gel color you chose, if you're not quite sure, you can test it. Ooh, I don't like it. Wipe it off and try another color.
Oh, okay.
Just don't top coat it and don't cure it, and you're good to go. So this one is the bronzed by the sun. As you see, totally different from the copper, but for some reason it was.
Do you have like a rose gold?
I don't have a rose gold, but I'll show you how you achieve a rose gold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And where did my rose gold? Oh, just gotta grab another. There we go. So the key, these all come with their own little. But if they start to wear out on you, just the key is that you want to try to find ones. You can buy them at any beauty supply, but you want to make sure that it's nice and dense. I just find that works better for pushing into the chrome into the product better.
Okay.
Something that is a little softer foam with more air holes in it, it's not as good. So this is the Gold Digger. And like, legit, you want to hear this, that squeaky sound. It's a good sound to hear. So some of the products, in particular the gold, they have a bigger, just because of the color of them, they have a bigger pigment size. So they take a little bit more rubbing in.
Okay.
And something happened here, I'm not sure what happened, but the gold's not sticking. I'll try it again. Wipe that off. I'll cure the other one. Oh, I didn't even top coat them yet. We'll top coat those and we'll cure them, and then I'll try again with the gold.
That's a non-wipe.
This is the no cleanse top coat, correct? I don't remember which ones have I top coated any of them?
No.
Thank you.
So then what happens if, like, for example, they want to do like a little bit of nail art or something like that on top of that?
Absolutely.
So whereabouts would you do that? Like where?
Yeah. So so you have to encapsulate this with the top coat. So once the chrome is on, you have to apply this coat of top coat.
Okay.
But from there, like you could stamp directly on the chrome and then top coat it as well. But then if you've messed up your stamp, you have to wipe off the chrome and redo that. So do the top coat first. Yeah. So for instance, right here, this is the chrome was placed on there, and then the top coat was placed on, and then we just used alpine snow to draw the lines on it, and then it's done. You don't, because it's such a small amount in this particular instance, we didn't bother top coating it. You wouldn't notice, right? You wouldn't notice because the gel colors have a little bit of shine to them without a top coat on. But if you did want a top coat, you can re-top coat that again. It's totally fine. Let me think of another example. Where do I have it? I know I have one in here. So this is an example of where I stamped these guys, and so I did the different colors on top of black onyx, and then I top coated, then I stamped, and then I top coated again. Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, this
No, I haven't tried the stamping.
this one is chrome, and then the no cleanse top coat, and then the crystal clear powder perfection.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just matte, it's textured as well, but with the chrome underneath, so that I was matching all this chrome that I did here and here. Okay. Okay, so let's see if we can get the gold to work again. I'm not sure what's up with you.
So when you use that crystal clear powder perfection, you don't need to coat that. That's kind of your coat.
Yeah,
absolutely right. Yeah.
Oh, that's.
If you coated it, you would lose the texture.
You would, yeah. No, so it
Yeah.
makes sense. I just had to ask because I'm like, oh, it's all new to me. But yeah.
I don't think you
that's-
top coated that one. It's a great.
No, I know I did top coat it. It's typical.
It's just that.
It's typical. It's a demo. It's a demo day that something goes wrong. But so what I want to show you guys is the layering of them. So I have here a few examples of where these are all on black onyx. But what I did was I did one coat of one color top coated, and then I did another Chrome Effects color on top of that and top coated again, and it creates totally different chrome colors. So
kind of give you the rose gold as well.
yeah, and so
Okay.
that's how you get a rose gold out of it, which is generally you want to use like a bright pink and then the
Oh,
gold
okay.
digger, or you could use a purple, like a really bright, like something that has more of a purple edge to it, and the copper. The thing about rose gold, everybody sees rose gold differently. Everybody, right? You know, I almost see some people are like, "Oh, it's such a pretty rose gold." I'm like, "That's more like white gold to me," you know. So
Right.
so you have to look. I would say try a bunch of different ones with different pinks, different purples, different either using the gold, or using the copper, or using a combination of them, and then write them down as you do it, and then have a selection for your clients to choose from, because sometimes what they see as rose gold is not what you see as rose
Okay.
gold.
And what would you put on like first? Would you put the gold on first and then the rose?
Again, it
or
would be
vice
totally
versa?
different. So it would totally show something totally different. So in this instance, this is ruby down first with the gold on
Okay.
top, but this is gold first with the ruby on top of it.
Okay.
And I'll show you where there's like, it starts to get really different. Ruby and copper, so the copper's on top of the ruby here, and this one, the ruby's on top of the copper.
Okay.
Where it starts to get really different is, where am I, is it, which one is it? I think these ones are really pretty, the amethyst and blue together. Okay, here you go. Yep. So this is blue with bronze on top, and that one's the bronze with the blue on top. So it's exactly all the same colors
Oh,
used,
wow.
but in a different
layer.
order.
Wow.
So the copper blue and the blue copper.
Oh, that's
It's
amazing.
quite a significant difference.
It is.
Totally huge difference. So I did these just, and I only just did them on black onyx. It was just really as just a very quick, you know, show to people that there is 1,000,001 possibilities for just the 8 colors that we have. You know, you can really play and customize colors if you're willing to and have the time to sit and play with it all. It can be really, really fun. I think we'll move on to some of the nail art that we can do with the Chrome Effects as well. Something really simple like this is just a baby boomer nail, but the ruby chrome is on top of it.
Okay.
It just gives a little extra something. You'll see that's something that trends on Instagram a lot as well. And then here, which like they don't have the mixed metals to show you guys, but rubbing it into the bottom and then patting. The further you go up, you kind of want to pat it because you want it to be sporadic and you don't want it to be just rubbed in.
Right.
So to create that fade with that one, you're going to pat it a little bit. What I'm going to show you now, though, is a couple different. Okay, so with this one, we're going to use. So where did that color go? Over here. Okay, so this is Ring Bearer, and this is from the Shears collection. I'm going to apply. So I had one coat down already, and it was cured. I've got the second coat, and I'm not going to cure it. I am going to choose my amethyst, or sorry, my blue plate special. So this is an instance of not using the no cleanse top coat and using the Chrome Effects in a sort of different, unexpected way. So we're going to take like a little fan brush like this, dip it into the chrome, hold it above it, and tap it in, just randomly. Let it sit
Oh, yeah.
for a second and let it just sort of absorb into the gel color, and then we're going to cure it.
Oh, that's a neat.
So as you can see here, all of these are just different color combinations of that. So I did the amethyst on a really light pink, so super, super subtle, but it gave something else to the light pink. It gave another little effect to it without rubbing in the chrome.
So what would be
And the copper on the
the
white.
chrome for the Starry Night?
So this guy here, I did a variety of them. So
Oh,
I
okay.
did the ruby, I did the amethyst, I did the blue plate special, and I did sprinkle a little bit of the mixed metals because I did this at home.
Right.
So I have the mixed metals at home, and I sprinkled a little bit of that in there as well. And then again, I know the base color was OPI ink,
Oh, okay.
so that already has a little bit of sparkle in it as well.
Right.
I cured that, and then top coat, and then I drew my stars, and I top coated again. So look how pretty that is. Just, it's something different. It's kind of really cute.
It's so quick.
Yeah, and
No.
so
Yeah.
fast.
Super
You feel
quick,
it, right?
That's what we all want.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well,
time is
It's
money
true
too,
though, because
right?
when your
Yeah, it
clients like who maybe they don't normally get, this happens to me quite frequently. They're like they never get nail art, and then they come in, so you book them, and you're like, oh, she'll be really quick. I can do you right after, and you book somebody right backed up against them, and then because you're expecting it to be really quick, and that's the day they ask you for nail art. Right.
Which is like
So-
99.9%.
Right. So then at that point, especially hopefully they don't have an idea, and you can go, oh, you know what? I have this really cool thing I just learned, and then you can pop it to do something really fast. So that's really fun.
that is fun.
do it
That's
that way.
quick,
Yeah.
and that is,
Yeah.
and it's fun looking, and it's
Yeah, it's
Yep.
lucky.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So then I'll show you guys the faded chrome just to show you what I'm talking about when. So I've just got a nice light pink on there. I believe it was Baby Take a Bow.
Okay.
And I've applied my No Cleanse top coat. Now I don't have the mixed metals, but I can show you maybe with the silver, the Tin Man can. Just sort of with the, oh, that might work. Always do 30 seconds for I'm a flash cure, but for the No Cleanse top coat, you want it to be fully cured for the red effects. Okay, so you're gonna pat in, and you're gonna start where you want, obviously at the bottom where you want it to actually be the chrome look. So you're gonna rub it in there, obviously depending on the length of the nail, depending on how much French you're gonna give them. And then from there is to just sort of pat, and I sort of pat downwards, and maybe even remove some of the product from your brush because there's a lot of extra on there anyways. And then just pat it up. If you go a little too high or it's not blending very well, you can always sort of use like a little wipe, pat it out and blend it up.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Now for the next one, which is again like sort of like another patting technique, which I've used, and if I can grab that from you, I've used it here and in here to give it more of a glitter look
Okay.
to it. It's basically the same thing. I've not applied any top coat, and I've just got the color down. Now I want it to have a sticky tacky layer though. So this one was cured and wiped, so I'm just going to apply another coat of the color and cure it really quick so I have that sticky layer, the tacky layer on top. And we'll play with the purple, the amethyst, the blue and ruby, maybe some silver. We'll leave that one out. Keeping track of all these little guys, where are they? Oh. So by not using the No Cleanse top coat, you can create sort of like a fun glitter, glitter that's not glitter. I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, it's just so soft. And I'm going to pat over top of the other colors as well, so you're kind of blending. Going with my amethyst.
It's like a great way to do that, like cloudy effect or that.
Yeah. So the smoke, the cloudy, like, all of it, the marble, galaxy nails coming back, and these are all just different ways to create that same look. Yeah, and then from there, top coat that. That could be really pretty top coated in a matte too.
Oh,
very
yeah.
much so,
Right?
sure.
Because it will
Yeah.
give that really neat effect.
Now for the chrome effects, is there the one top coat that comes within the series? Or
Yes.
is it,
Yeah,
okay.
that's just the one. That's all you need.
So you have to have this top coat, not the other one.
Yeah. You have to have this top coat to make it have that mirror chrome
Okay.
finish. But if you don't have that top coat, there's still fun ways to play with the chrome, as I've shown, right? So there's still lots of fun things you can do.
You just get more
But-
of the sparkle.
but you get a
as opposed
sparkle out of
to
it.
the actual chromatic
Exactly.
look of it. Okay.
Exactly. So it's more sparkly than it is chrome. Okay. I think that was it. That's what I had to show you guys. What do you guys think? Going out to get some chrome now?
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's everybody loves it, and it's a really fun way, as you say, super quick way to add some nail art to your clients.
Oh, even if it's just like a feature nail, or if it's
Absolutely.
you know what I mean.
Right.
Even if it's not, and
Absolutely.
you want to do it like, man, that's quick.
Yeah.
Let's
exactly.
go.
And as you can see too, like it does totally change a particular color. So in this particular instance, I do have the ruby on the pink. Even without the stars, if you had, they wanted all one color, and then they're like, but I kind of want to do something. Throw on a chrome just to one or two. It's still the same palette, but it instantly changes it just enough to give it a little something.
Yeah.
So.
That's a great series.
Yeah, there's a example of the gold, and then it's also mixed in with the ruby as well on top of the alpine snow. So the little gold fade French.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the gold. I didn't get to show it to you, but that's what the gold looks like.
Okay.
Yeah. And there I did it with. I just did the top coat. So I had done a matte top coat on my pink. And then I did the no cleanse top coat along the cuff, as we call it, and then I rubbed the gold into that, wiped it off, cured it, and then just wiped off whatever might have, the little excess that falls down, because it won't stick to the matte top coat. So, yeah.
Did you do the sunny first
Did I do the which?
on the matte first? That one?
So I did the colors, and then I did matte top
Matte
coat,
top.
cure,
Uh-huh.
wipe,
Uh-huh.
and then I do the no cleanse top
Uh-huh.
coat just there,
On the
just
top.
where I want the chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us for Gel Color Chrome Effects. So, where did I just, okay. Yeah, okay. So today we're going to talk about our OPI Gel Color Artist series. The differences between doing nail art with gel colors versus our artist series pots, there's just a few differences. So the artist series was originally formulated specifically for fine detail, lots of hand painting artworks. People who want to give a lot of detail into the so when you're talking about little characters or even the geometric designs that you were speaking about before, because it has a thinner viscosity with a higher pigment of colors, okay? And then it also, because it comes out of a pot. So, for instance, like especially with something like a white or the black, rather than taking, your alpine snow out and putting it on a palette, you can just work straight out of the pot, and it saves you a little bit of waste in that sense. So when you open up your artist series pots, you want to make sure that they're stirred perfectly. So we have the Axiom stir stick here. You just want to give it a really good stir, because the pigments will settle to the bottom, and as I said, they're heavily pigmented, so there's lots of pigments in there. As you can see, it is a thinner viscosity than gel color. Okay. So we're going to show you real quick how you can get a beautiful fine line from the artist series, just really quick. And And having said that, I've started this. This one is called Picasso in Love with You. This was from our artist series collection, nail art collection that one of our UK educators, Sophie, worked on for us. And I'm going to show you something that's really exciting about the artist series before I get into it. The glitters. So, you stir these up. We have an amazing selection of different looks, different colors. So this one, yeah. So this one is something more like, I'll show you. I'll just sort of do some. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting so excited about showing you guys all the colors. Okay, so let me just show you guys how you can do really fine lines really easily because it's got the right consistency and how easy it is to work out of the pot. I'm just going to add a little bit here.
And are there like over 200 plus colors in this collection too?
I wish. No, there's only the 24, I believe.
Yeah, not bad.
But, having said that, so thank you for introducing me to that. Okay. So what's really cool is colors like this, these two.
Oh my goodness.
I'll show you. These colors can be used on their own. You know, just so pretty. So they can be used entirely on their own for painting anything. Or, let me get situated here. Okay. Or you can mix them together, and I'm going to show you really quick with some of my favorite colors. Well, these ones in particular, actually, again, getting ahead of myself. I can't stop. Okay. Take something like this and apply it over another color, and you have a whole new look to your blacks. So you can use it as a full coverage color. The thing that you want to keep in mind, on an enhancement, it can be applied directly onto that enhancement, that's fine. If you're going to do it on a natural nail and you're going to just put this color on, you want to do like a neutral color of gel color first. So you would do your gel color base, and then you would do something like a pink or put it in neutral or whatever. And then you would apply these colors because these don't have strength. They were specifically meant for doing nail art on top of gel color. So you want to make sure they can be used alone, but you need the strength. So if you have to have an enhancement or you have to have the gel color down first. So if I wipe that one away, and I'll show you guys this one real quick, what that one looks like on black. Oh, nice. This one is kind of cool because it looks like purple and green, certain
So
colors.
pretty.
Yeah. So, going back to that, I'm going to show you. I'll get the palette back out again. Oh, thank you. Okay. So, you can take a little bit of one color and a little bit of another color. And you can create a whole new color.
Yeah, it is. Definitely is.
So now it's like that gold, and then the more of this one that you add, the more of that purple green you're gonna see. So for instance, if you look at the two pinks that I have right here, they're exactly the same two colors that are mixed together, which I think is this one. One sec, I'll show you guys how I did this. So I mixed these two colors together to get these colors, and this one I added more gold and less pink fuchsia,
Right.
and this one is more fuchsia and less gold. So by changing the ratio, you're changing the color. So I'll show you, let's do a totally different color combination so you guys can see. Make sure this is all mixed with, let's do it with the silver. We have a really nice silver here. So again, I'll show you, like, you can get really fine lines. See how, like, fine you can get that? And if you do use, you can do this. So when you're doing fine line art, you want to make sure that you don't really have a bead so much as you have saturated your brushes. And then you're going to, I'm working upside down here, sorry guys. I'm getting my fingers and everything. But you want to saturate that brush. And hold steady, and you can get a super, super fine line. So if I just picked it up, and if I have that bead on the end, I'm going to end up with a much thicker line, right? So that's why we brush it out like that on your palette. But getting back to it, we're going to mix a little bit of blue. So I'm going to try to do so more blue, less silver. Okay, so I can show you guys. What that adds to it. Oops, there it is. Okay, now add a bit more so that we're at about a 50-50 ratio. Look at the ombre we're making here. And then again, add even more silver. So now you're at a 75% ratio of silver to blue. So any of these colors can be mixed together. Any of these colors can be mixed into your gel colors as well.
Oh, okay.
So you can intermix, you can add, for instance, do more
that's
saturated.
nice. They're all intermixable now.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I can take this, another romantic evening. Let's mix it with this guy. Add a little bit more. So they could be used as a top coat on top of your gel color. You can mix them with your gel color. You can mix them together. The whole idea, the reason why there was a limited amount of colors in these was the fact that a real artist, you know, like a painter, an artist, they have a certain amount of colors and then they mix their own colors, right? They're always sort of mixing and playing. And that was where we wanted to go with this, was showing, was showing that we've given you the basic tools. You have your primary colors, you have beautiful different types of glitters in different golds. This one, funny enough, I'm not a fan of this one on its own. It's not the kind of color I generally like. A lot of people do love this color. When I mix this color with my favorite color, see how much deeper that went? Actually, I think I might even add a little bit more. So these are all buy one get one free, I believe right now, or there's a deal.
There's a deal.
I better not say what it is, because there's a lot of things out there right now on the floor in Alberta Beauty that is buy one get one free right now. This might be one of them, but there is definitely a deal on. I should have checked with Kim before I started. Okay, I'll just do it over top of this one. I got a little hair in there. So
That's super pretty.
here you go, right? So creating your own colors, adding some of these effects to your gel color. This is
been taking
really
for
fun.
like 15 years now.
That's a really fun sort of darker gray.
Every single time I'm here.
Gunmetal one is really fun to add
Still love it.
to the to the blues, but even, let's see, let's try it with the pink. I need more palettes. There you go. I keep using pink, but that's just my favorite. But you see how there's a huge difference just mixing those two different colors.
Yeah.
So when you think about how you have the purples and you have the yellows and you have the oranges and the amount of colors that you can create with these is just incredible. And then adding just those into your, what do we have now? 300 plus colors of gel color,
I
right?
love it.
Endless possibilities and a lot of fun. But so originally, as I said though, it was originally for, I'm going to cure these so I have something to work on, for fine line detail. And so it does all, it
The
does it.
fact that they're intermixable though, like
Yeah.
OPI, great job.
Yeah. Yay, okay.
I know.
Yes.
No, like seriously, very well thought out. That's genius.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you
Yes.
again. What are the two colors for this one? Because that's
Yeah,
kind
so
of what
that
I'm looking
one,
for.
yep, that one is rated V for violet. Sorry, I when you have to remember
Yeah.
a few hundred names, you start forgetting some of them. Thank you. They're on the bottom.
Oh.
Yeah, and then bronze have more fun. So yeah, so let's try. Let me show you. Well, you know what? Actually, if you guys can pass me some of those books, I'll actually show you what I've done with the artist series. Oops. Thank you. So some of the things that I've done with the artist series, I've used combinations of gel color. Like if I just have the color I want in the gel color, I think the taco shell, I know the color. I knew it was just a gel color that I pulled out, but I used the red from the artist series just for the reds. Because like I said, it's just a little bit easier just to pull it out of the pot. Let me see what else did I use. Funny enough, I don't know if any of the, well, there's some of the purple, which I don't think I pulled out, but this glittery purple right here, and the glittery violets are in there as well in these ones. And then if you grab me another one that has some more of the detail works. Yeah.
Can I see
The
that one that you
characters
just
and
had?
stuff? Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So all of this whole line right here was all artist series. All of that. So the Mickey Mouse, the scroll work, it's beautiful. I love that gold. It's really beautiful to work with for that fine line scroll work. Now when you're doing scrolling, you want to use the very tip of your brush, so almost at like a 90 degrees, because as soon as you go here, you're adding that to it. If you use the very tip, like you might a pencil, then as you go around in a circle, you get the natural variant of thickness. And when you're doing scroll work, you go from one side to the other and connect them. Oops, I just did that a little. So, and then it's the same rules for this as it is for gel color. If you make a mistake, make sure you have a clean brush and just clean it up. And away you go. Yeah. Might try to make a full design out of this, but. So you can tap off the excess. And then, so when I talk about varying pressures and stuff, sometimes you want to use that pressure. So you like press and then you pull, and so you lighten your pressure as you come up, and you get that sort of like teardrop shape scroll out of it. This actually is not really quite the right brush to be doing that with. It's a slightly different one, but you get the idea. But let me show you. Okay. So all of the, when I talk about like fine line and detail, you know, the Olaf, the Garfield, the Odie's, the characters here, the Halloween characters, they're all done with the artist series. All of this scroll work in here, and then on the sugar skull, all done with artist series. So that's an example, as well as the outlines on the Easter Bunny and some of the colors in the Easter Bunny was all done with the artist series as well. And the right brush. So I like to have my favorite brush. It's the one that used to come with the artist series, but I have ruined them and I can't get any more. They're gone. So now my next favorite one is, here, it's this purple one. It's actually from Wildflowers. But you want to have a brush that's like this for things like that, for the outlining of the characters. And you want to have like a, not a sparkly color. Let's do the white. What do I want to draw? Give me an idea, guys.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse! Oh my god. Well,
Whatever is easier.
so doing like a circle like that, like in a Mickey ear. Oops. You see that there was something online about drawing the perfect circle? It's a perfect circle challenge.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
I fail. Anyway. So again, I've got a good one side of it, but I'm not happy with the other side. So I'm going to clean it up. And try again. So there, so I got a little shaky and I got a little bumpy and away from myself there. I'm going to take a brush with NAS 99 and hopefully no glitter in it. But this one does have glitter. And then I'm going to clean it up. And I'm going to make the circle that I want. So as you're going, if you're like, okay, I'm not going to touch that anymore, that's perfect. You can just go ahead and flash cure. Any nail art like that, when you're like, okay, I've just done steps 1 through 3 or whatever, and I know I'm going to mess up on step 4, go ahead and flash cure it, lock that in place, and then now I can continue on safely and not scared that I'm going to wreck the rest of my design. Well, there's a lopsided Mickey Mouse, but it's just, I just wanted to show you guys how fine the detail line is that you can get with these. You can do that with gel color too, but it can be a little bit harder in some ways because the pigment isn't as high. So say something with like alpine snow, it's not really bad. It's actually pretty decent, but it can be, let's see.
Is it because the consistencies of the product are a little bit different?
Yeah. So the alpine snow, or sorry, the artist series, the viscosity is thinner.
It's more like a nail polish.
Yeah, so I tried to use the same pressure that I used doing his, and I just don't get as much pigment out of the white, so I'd have to go over it again. So when you're using that really light pressure, like Alpine Snow is great when you're
No pressure.
adding a lot, a fair amount of it, it's going to look a lot like the Artist Series does. But when you're just doing that tiny little pressure just to get that super fine line, as you can see in those characters, that's where the extra pigment plays in for you. Yeah. Alrighty. We should find out what this thing was. Okay. So that's Artist Series. Now, did you guys want to see anything in particular with this? Do you guys want to see a certain color combination or something? Did that answer some questions for you with nail art?
It's really good.
Yeah.
So can we get these detailing brushes from here?
Yeah, I'm sure that they sell, not these particular ones specifically, but they do have detailing brushes here for sure. Yeah.
He's got kits, right?
Yeah,
He's
they,
got those cute little kits. Too.
yeah, they have great little
I
kits.
think so.
They're pretty sure.
The boys, they don't know.
If not, Kim will make us.
Right? Well, I guess we'll take a short little break and we'll reset up and maybe show you guys some more gel color nail art for you guys.
Okay.
If you missed it. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Bart. I'm an OPI Global Artist, and I'm here at Alberta Beauty Systems to talk to you guys about the Axiom Soak Off Gel Lacquer that they currently have on special for buy one, get one free. I wanted to tell you guys about the Axiom. It superseded our gel color. It came just before our gel colors. It is a color in a pot, and it has a base and a top coat that are specific to the system. And it's applied very similarly to gel color, where you would do your base coat and then you do 2 thin coats of color and then your top coat. The difference here is that when these guys came out, we worked with them with a traditional UV lamp. So the curing times for the Axiom gel lacquer in a traditional UV lamp is 1 minute for your base coat, 2 minutes for each coat of color, and 3 minutes for your top coat. So it's really easy to remember 1, 2, 3. But then we came out with, this is Cajun shrimp. Just want to show you guys how beautiful the color pigment is in there. And you can see it's a nice thick viscosity. You work with a nice thin layer and a small brush. It's just for techs who prefer to work out of a pot rather than out of a bottle. And if you have the Axiom LED curing drops, you can add these to your pots of your Axiom Soak Off, and then you can cure it in your LED lights for 30 seconds. So there's your Axiom. They've got some really fun glitter colors on sale right now as well. Show it and glow up already, and as well as all the iconic colors as well. So buy one, get one free now at Alberta Beauty Systems.